Former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey hit out at his old website's new guard, saying it all went south at the company after Elon Musk's takeover. Dorsey says Musk is not the man for the job. This, of course, comes after Musk appeared on Bill Maher's HBO show last night.
This woke mind virus, how did it start? Was it bats? Was it escape from a lab? I mean, what is your assessment of what? Because it's fairly recent. How did it start and why?
I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. I think it's actually been a long time brewing, in that I think it's been going on for a while. The amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize. And I sort of came to realize this somewhat late. The experience that we had in high school and college is not the experience that kids today are having, and hasn't been for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 20 years.
And Elon Musk obviously is a lot of kids, and I think his own experience, reading between the lines, I've come to understand that his own experiences with the education system with his own kids is part of his kind of political realization into this more explicitly right-leaning figure who's very upset about wokeness and some gender stuff, all that. He's talked about this kind of woke mind virus phrase, a phrase I'm not particularly fond of because I don't. I don't. In fact, I don't like when they describe, for instance, like racism as an epidemic or something. Like it's especially when we just came through an actual epidemic. Let's be precise with how we describe things.
Yeah. And Bill Maher also said, it's like, was it a bat or something? Really furthering the analogy, poking fun at it.
Yeah.
I would say, maybe Elon's upset that his kids came home from college and they don't like him very much anymore. That could be the end of it. But, to me, when I think about this concept, they did not like wokeness as it was in its original form, right? The first virus before it ever mutated. When it was, hey, members of the Black community in the United States of America, be aware of how systems of oppression are affecting us and be critical of that. Stay aware of it, stay woke. And then it somehow turned into, I'm going to police your language as it offends me, not making an effort to educate you as to why. And also, I'm not going to root my criticism of what you're saying in any criticism of systems of oppression as a start of it. And so I don't like the woke mind virus as it sometimes exists and shows up today. But at the end of the day, they're entirely removing this conversation that we should be having about how systems of oppression affect people. And I think they're happy to do that. Are they upset that people might become more progressive after studying in college? Maybe. But in higher universities, you're going to get some teaching of how governments are run in other places of the world. And maybe you realize there are other ways we could do things than in the United States of America, which is all you get in K through 12.
Yeah, I don't particularly object to colleges being, academics at universities being liberal. I mean, these conservatives love to complain about the bias here. I think much of the pernicious stuff going on at the university level is actually like other students in the administration. I'm always talking to conservatives who are like, the professors are brainwashing our kids, and I'm like, a lot of those kids already came to those ideas because of their peer groups, and then it's like it's administrators who are hunting down free speech dissenters and all that. It's generally not the faculty. But K through 12 is a little different. There are less protected sort of free speech rights in K through 12. I think the indoctrination, again, is not so much from teachers, but is like clumsy kind of DEI initiatives, or that's sort of a workplace thing too. But it has an education component with things that are not particularly, it's not just like teaching kids about something, but almost in like a, this is HR compliance sort of way. That's, for me at least, wokeness at its most annoying. I don't know if that's what Elon Musk is referring to, but that's where I think the criticism is maybe most productive.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well. Yes, in my university, there are people with the Nalgene water bottle with 1 billion stickers on it of all of the things that they very much believe in, and they will correct you if you say things that, they politically disagree with. Those same people would go home to very wealthy families and were nowhere to be found when we were, having rallies after Trayvon Martin's, his anniversary for when he was shot by the police. Like, we were there. Those people were not there.
No.
So when it comes to becoming uncomfortable to fight for things you believe in, I think that group of woke people, perhaps you could call that a virus. What is Elon Musk talking about, though? Probably talking about people who are critical of how much power billionaires have in society. I think he would say that's wokeness. I think he would go that far, genuinely. It's people who dissent from his beliefs.
Well, we should return to the earlier part of the story. Jack Dorsey criticizing Elon Musk. And if you recall, when Elon Musk was taking over Twitter, Dorsey was not super critical of Elon Musk. He criticized some things. He didn't like how Elon was treating the employees of Twitter. But he signaled some agreement with the kind of ideological thrust that there had been too much heavy-handed censorship or moderation. He kind of signaled some agreement with that. Look, I think Dorsey is probably raising some legitimate. I have also criticized how some of the things are going. There's a level of arbitrariness to some of the policies now. And we again have the policy where, specifically, Elon said he thought the blue checks are arbitrary, and he's upset with who just got them, and it should be fair across the board. You want one, you got to pay for them. But of course, some people still do have blue checks that aren't paying for them, or they claim they're not paying for them. So it seems like he hasn't even improved that. I think he talked a really good game about free speech and all of that, and I really don't like what the previous administration did with respect to listening to the FBI and everyone else when they said to take down content. But I don't know that, again, he said good things. I'm still waiting to see the good results.
Right. His promise of we need more meritocracy, I find to be incredibly unfounded from someone like Elon Musk, who grew up in a very wealthy family, went to very good schools, knew very wealthy people, and pretty much weaseled his way into positions at corporations that he thought he could grow in some way, and took a lot of loans through what would be defined in a court of law, I'm sure, as fraud, to say that you have the capacity to manufacture electric cars in a way that he didn't when he got government loans to do so. Is this the guy who we should say, you know what, you should institute meritocracy on our social media platform? I don't think he knows the first thing about it.
Well, he's built some very successful companies, right? He's a successful business. He started from privilege and wealth, but now has become like the richest person on earth, in part because of his business success.
Yeah, but I would say business success and working hard to make your businesses successful are two different things. And I think he's someone who does have successful businesses, but Tesla was founded by Mark Tarpenton and his buddy, and Elon came in and bought his way to be in the position of CEO. He specifically positioned himself, okay, I want to take the news interviews. I want to be the guy that's at the forefront of this company, despite having been someone who bought his way in and was not an original founder of it. And then uses places like Twitter, where he gains a following based off of this persona he's created by leveraging his position to get more airtime and be the face of this, like another Steve Jobs. And then he's able to manipulate the stock position of Tesla. And then, without being particularly profitable outside of selling carbon credits, that's the story of Tesla. And so I don't know.
He built a rocket that got, it got all the way to space technically.
That's true. There are people that I don't fully understand the criticism, but think that it's like, if you got this kind of loan to do this kind of space travel, if you had this kind of support to research this, instead of creating so many rockets that are cheaply made, they're very expensive, but compared to a very high quality rocket for what he's trying to accomplish, instead he's just making so many, and there are so many failures. What we hear coming out of SpaceX doesn't particularly impress me either.
You gotta blow up a lot of rockets to make an omelet.
I know, he's saving the world and going to space and curing the woke mind virus. It's not for me.
The woke mind virus will not take root in the Mars colony, I think.
Oh, yeah.
To see.
Yeah.
More Rising right after this.